Hello, this is Jill from Paper Daisy Crafting. Thank you for joining me today and welcome to the Stamp Around UK video hop. We've been doing this for several months now. A group of UK demos come together on the first day of each month and publish a video and then a whole load of links so that you can carry on hopping around the video hop and seeing lots of videos, all there to inspire you. So I would just suggest make a cup of tea, cup of coffee, whatever your poison is, sit down and just give up a couple of hours or so to just watching a few videos. We try to keep them as short as we can, so I have done a bit of prep ahead of time today just to keep them a bit short, because otherwise it takes a long time for people to hop around the whole thing. But all the links are below, or they're over on my blog, so click the link through to my blog and you can follow there. So I hope you've already been seeing some videos and being inspired. Our theme for this month is romance. It's the 1st of February. You've got a fortnight to get your romantic Valentine cards organised. These are the cards that I'm going to be making today. I am using the Arrange a Wreath set, which is here. It's got these two little hearts, which actually are actually together on one stamp, but I've cut mine apart. And a lot of people will hold their heads in horror when I tell them that, but they're quite easy to piece back together again. The reason they're together is so you can die cut them quite easily, because the die cuts two of them out. Where's the die? There's the die. So you can cut two of those out at a time, which would be quite helpful. But as I'm just using the stamp today, I only wanted one, so I've cut my stamp apart. And then the other thing that I'm using is this little die here, which is also from the same set, and it's a little heart that has love cut out of it. And that's really nice as well. This is such a good set for all sorts of occasions. I've said it before lots of times. I made Christmas cards with it. You can do little poinsettia flowers with the dies. You could do partridge in a pear tree. There's eggs for Easter. There's flowers for just a birthday wreath, or summer or spring. Hearts for Valentine's Day or weddings or those sorts of occasions. Leaves for autumn. So many different occasions. I love this set. It's one of my favourites. So anyway, let's get started and I'll show you what I did to make these cards today. Very, very simple. I specialise in clean and simple designs. I don't ever do anything that's too complicated. Certainly nothing that's too messy. I like very clean, simple, minimalist look, and those are what my cards are like. So we're going to start off with this one today. So I have already cut a card blank and a piece of Whisper White that will layer onto my card blank. So I'm going to do them in Gorgeous Grape today. These ones were in Real Red, but I'm going to do Gorgeous Grape today. These are possibly going to my children, my grown-up children, who I've hardly seen for nearly a year now. And so I just wanted something, I want something in something that's not too Valentine's-y. So I'm going to do them in different colours. Probably do one in blue for my son. And I'll do purple and maybe, I don't know, turquoise or something for my other daughter. Right, so my card blank measures, I think it measures, is there a measurement? No. It's 8 1/4 by, I think it's 14 point. This is the other half of the card. I cut my other cards to 15, so this is, so I think it's about 14.8, which is a bit of an odd measurement, I know, but it just means I can use up that other piece of card. It's difficult with A4 to cut it exactly in half. You don't get a direct measurement. And then my panel, I've just cut so that it's 3 millimeters, and that's not going to work. Look, that's too big. How come? Let me try another one. No, they're all too big. I'm going to have to trim a little bit off there. Right, okay. Don't know how I managed to do that, but obviously I did. There we go. So I'm just going to mark where I think it should be. So rather than measuring and doing a precise measurement, I'm just going to use a pencil mark there, which is what I do a lot of the time. So obviously when I did that before it didn't work, but hey ho, that's right. Rather have it bigger than smaller. Which means all the bits that I've cut ready are going to be too big, but hey ho. Right, okay, so now that will layer, and I tend to go for, and this is another odd measurement, but if you're okay with measurements, it's a 3 millimeter on each border. So it's about, you need to cut your mat down 0.6 of a centimetre smaller than your card blank, basically. But before we stick it on, we're going to do the stamping. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this one first. So what I did was I took the die and I put it where I thought I wanted it to be. And if you wanted to be really precise, you could take a ruler and just mark halfway across your blank, which is about there, just because you want it to be centered. And then I don't know whereabouts. Do you think that's about right? Yeah. And then I just drew round it so that when I was stamping my hearts, I just had a little bit of an idea where the die was going to go when I came back in with that. So now I need my heart, which is there, and my gorgeous grape. I've just re-inked my gorgeous grape because it was getting a bit dry, so I've just re-inked it. Right, and then I'm just going to stamp at random. I'm going to cut off, get rid of my middle mark there. I'll come in afterwards and rub out the heart. Just remember it will be slightly bigger than it cuts the die, so you can overlap a little bit here. And I'm just going to do 3 generational stamping. So 1, 2, 3. It's not looking great actually in this colour, but I'm going to persevere. I think it's because I've just re-inked the pad. It's looking a bit spotty, but hey ho. There we go. Probably could have done with leaving the pad a little while longer, but I wanted to get done. Probably the ink is sitting. Hey ho. It'll work, it'll be fine. Another one down there, one over here, one there. And is that all we need, do you think? Maybe one over here, very pale one. Maybe one, we'll do that one, and then I'm just going to stamp it off and do another one over here. There we go, and that's it. And that's all we need. And then I'm going to rub out very carefully, and if you've got a very inky ink pad, I would advise you to leave this a lot longer to dry because you don't want to smudge your ink. I'm doing it very carefully, so I don't want to smudge my ink. It does dry quite quickly, but just to give it a chance to dry, because you don't want smudgy hearts. Okay, and then I've already die cut the heart die out of purple, and these little letters will just pop out like so. There we go. And then that is going to mount onto there. What I'm going to do before I do that is I'm going to take a little bit of gorgeous grape and stick it on the back of my heart, because if there are any gaps between the letters and the edges, I don't want them to show through as white. So I'm just going to stick a little bit of gorgeous grape cardstock on the back of my heart. Just trim that off so that it's not going to stick out like that. And then if there are any little gaps, it will show through as purple, so they won't show up as much. So let's just put a little bit of Tombow on here. So some of these cards do look very simple, I know, but sometimes simple is just as tricky to get looking nice as complicated, because you have to be very precise. You have to make sure things are centered and perfect. Whereas if you've got a very complicated card, sometimes you can get away with things like that. Right, there we are. I'm just wondering whether about mounting that up on dimensionals. I think I might in a minute. Okay, now I've already also cut I love heart in gold, but I will just want the letters this time, so I'm going to pick out the letters. The gold heart is going to be used on our next card. There we go. And then just a tiny little bit of Tombow in these troughs, really, where the dies came out of. What would you call them? Furrows? I don't know. There we go. And then just bring in my tweezers and lay them in. So this is like an inlaid technique which I've been using quite a lot just recently. Seems to be my favourite technique at the moment. And just lay these in. Of course you could just cut the card out and then layer it on top of a bit of gold, so it would be the opposite way round. You'd have an indent where the gold showed through. But I quite like doing this, and I didn't want to waste any of the bits. Right, that's quite pretty, isn't it? I quite like that. Now the other bit that I did, actually I'm going to layer that up first of all. I am going to put it on dimensionals and see what that looks like. I didn't layer this one up, I stuck it straight on the card, but this one I'm going to put on dimensionals. So I'm just going to cut, oh and I've got some cut. I tend to cut these big ones into half. I've started liking using them more than the little ones. I find they're a bit more useful when they're this size. It's kind of an in-between size. It's in between the big ones and the little ones. And sometimes I do need a big one, but mostly I only need a half one. And then of course they go further if you don't use a whole one all the time. There we go. And there we go. Oh, I think that doorbell means it's my tea is here. But I'm going to finish doing this video first of all. Having a takeaway as a treat tonight. Just because we've been a bit fed up this week with everything that's going on. Right, there we go. And I'm going to put that on there. Yeah, I think that does look better, raised up off dimensionals. Right, and then I'm just going to come in with a little bit of Whisper White and back to my stamp pad. And this greeting is the thank you from Blossoms in Bloom. Let me find it. So it's, you could use the thinking of you, but I'm using the thank you and just the you, and it's going to be cut off, so it doesn't matter if I catch a little bit extra on the end. I'm just going to cut that out, so I just want the you. And I'm going to do another one because I'm going to need it for my next card as well. So I'm just going to do another one. There we go. And then just trim that straight as you like. There we go. And you could do this on a trim, but it would be very fiddly, and I think just doing that little bit with your scissors works really well. And then that's going to mount, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this onto my backing first. So, oh, I'm liking this in purples. Quite like, Gorgeous Grape is one of my favourite colours from the Stampin' Up collection. I have favourites that I go to all the time, and I have some colours. Cajun Craze and Crushed Curry. They're not colours that I use very often. I sometimes feel quite sorry for them because they sit there all on their own and don't ever get used, but it's just one of those things. I know people who love them and use them a lot, but they're not my colours really. Right, where did I put my little U here? Oh, can't get it. Hoping this is it. Oh no, that's not it. Where have I put it? Oh, can't find it. There it is. Right, I'm just going to cut another dimensional in half and use that like that. And then that's one card made. Stuck it on the back of the wrong one. That's because I'm hurrying, because I can hear my husband crashing around in the kitchen getting dinner ready. He told me it was going to be half an hour, so I thought I had time to record a video. Obviously not. They were quicker than we thought. There we go. Right, there we go. That's that card finished, except for the panel inside, which I would do exactly the same as I've done on this one, and would just stamp 3 little hearts on a panel inside. And then I also did an envelope, which I'm not sure if I can find. Right, oh, here it is. I did an envelope as well with just 3 little hearts there and 3 little hearts there. So how cute is that to send somebody? Really gorgeous. Right, this one I did in a very similar way. I am just going to show you this one before I rush off to have my dinner. Okay, now because I had a piece of cardstock left with the heart cut out, I kind of didn't want to waste it, and because I'd used the gold letters, I didn't want to waste the gold heart either. So I thought I'd do another card using those. So I'm just going to quickly show you what I did. So I've got another card blank that I just need to score. And then I'm going to have to trim down, I think, one of my panels, as they seem to have been a bit of a bodge of measuring them. So I would just quickly cut that down. Just don't do it too quickly to mess it up. Just mark that there. There we go. And then once again, I'm going to draw around my square so that I've got a bit of an idea where the hearts need to go. I'm going to measure again in the middle. I'm going to get it centered. So that's the middle. So I know that the point of my heart needs to be there. And then I'm going to draw. My square of cardstock here measures 4.6 centimetres square. So I've made it into a square just from the cutout piece of cardstock that I cut my purple card out from before. Right, and then back to my stamp. I'm just going to clean that off with my chamois and start again, because it seems to be a bit claggy because it's new ink. I'd re-inked my pads. I'm just going to see if we can get a better impression by cleaning that off. I do love it in purple though. I'm just looking at that one. I think that's quite nice. And here we go. So this is my pattern that I'm copying. So this is Stampin' better. So just a random pattern of hearts around the square. And then if you want to infill some in other places, feel free to do it until you think you've got enough. I think that's probably enough. And then all I did was place my heart on there. There we go. So I'm just going to rub out my lines again. Be very careful if you're doing this as quickly. I don't rub too hard over the inked areas, because you will find you might smudge. The ink does dry very quickly, but I wouldn't like to be responsible for smudged ink. And that's going to go on there like that with a little bit of Tombow. There we go. And then I'll just place the heart in that space. Oh, that's lovely. I'm quite liking this gold and gorgeous grape colour scheme. Like so, just a little bit of Tombow. Might just use a cocktail stick to smooth that out. If you get glue on the gold, it does tend to show quite a lot, so you just need to be careful there. And then we're just going to take the purple letters, which I had. Seem to have lost the L at the moment. Lucky I did a spare, just in case I lost them. And then again, I'm just going to infill these in the spaces in the die. Actually, it looks quite nice with just the white, to be honest, but I'm just going to do the infill as I said I would. Just a little bit of glue in those bits, and then just with my tweezers just infill those. So that's just about it. I'm just going to mount this onto my card blank. That's all that's left to do with this one, and then at some point I will do an insert with the 3 little hearts, and there will be more details over on my blog, so my blog details will be listed below, but also below this video are all the links to the other videos, so please do carry on hopping. There are loads and loads of inspirational videos for you to see. So many talented people out there, all using Stampin' Up products. If you want to buy anything, they're all available from my online shop, so you can pop over. The link is below as well. Everything is below this video that you need. And if you haven't subscribed already, please press the button and subscribe. I'm heading really fast towards 5,000 subscribers, so if you could add 1 to that number, I'd be really, really grateful. And I'd also love it if you left me a message. Oh, I've got to do the other thank you, the other you. Just finished that. I'd also love it if you left me a comment. I love when people comment on my videos and my blog posts, so please do leave a comment. That would be great. And don't forget that we've got Celebration on at the moment, so if you wanted to spend £45, you could choose a free gift. Loads of lovely things to choose from in the catalogue, in the brochure, the Celebration brochure. Some stamp sets, some patterned papers, packs. So, oh, I've lost it. Oh, I've lost the U. I'm trying to hurry, oh, there it is. I'm trying to do this too much in a hurry now. A, because I don't want this video to be too long, and B, because my dinner's out there waiting for me. Anyway, I'm just going to stick this on and then say goodbye. Thank you so much for watching. Just going to clear all this junk out of the way and show you my 4 cards. There we go. Hope you like those. Hope they've given you some inspiration for Valentine's Day. Very simple little cards, but quite fun and effective, I think. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back soon. But do carry on hopping around the other videos. We'll be back next month on the 1st of the month with more videos for you, so join us then. Till then, have a lovely day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.